All right, that's a big story we're tracking on India Today. Chief Minister Hemant Soren's grilling has just begun. In fact, shortly from now, he will be facing the ED officers. And the big question now comes down to whether he will be arrested right after this grilling session today. We know that he's met with his father right ahead of the ED grilling today. ED has also written a letter to Jharkhand government to put extra security throughout this questioning in case things go out of hand. ED expects that law and order situation may arise during questioning, and therefore strict vigil must be kept all across the residence. In fact, Hemant Soren wasn't in the state for the last 40 hours. Just last afternoon, he reappeared after going missing. So a lot of questions that will be asked. He has to answer the ED officers at this point. He has no choice. And one should remember, this is the day that Hemant Soren had asked the ED to question him. He said he will come to the ED officers on the 31st of Jan. And as per his request, it appears the ED has decided to come indeed on 31st of Jan, today itself, as per Hemant Soren's request. So in every way, it's gone according to the wishes of Hemant Soren. He gets to be questioned right in his residence itself and not in the ED office. Shreya Chatterjee, our correspondent, Anupam Mishra, who are right there in Ranchi tracking very closely those developments. Munish Pandey also giving us details and updates on the ED movement. Cutting to Shreya first. Shreya, give us more. ED officers have just left their office. Have they arrived at Hemant Soren's residence? It's a big day for the state of Jharkhand. Their chief minister being grilled by the Enforcement Directorate. The optics of it don't look good.
Well, yes, Nabila, we're yet to get an update on the Enforcement Directorate team being en route to the Kake Road where the CM house is. But the security is absolutely tight. It continues to remain the way as we saw the day process, the security layer being increased. And we're being told that this is the gate that through which the Enforcement Directorate team will be entering the Chief Minister's residence. I'll just point you across the entire stretch of the road. Both sides of the entire Kake Road has been barricaded. There's no movement of cars or people that are being allowed right now. The entire stretch has been cordoned off, 144 imposed. Not just here, the Raj Bhavan and the Enforcement Directorate office also has 144 imposed around it. We're seeing all senior officers, including the IG, DIG, the SP City, they're all taking rounds and ensuring that a security apparatus is completely at place. So we're just waiting for some time, and the Enforcement Directorate team will likely be heading inside the CM residence, and in all likelihood, we are looking at a long day of questioning. Last time the Enforcement Directorate came over here, they questioned Hemant Soren for 7 long hours. Whether that will be beaten, whether it will be a more long hour of questioning, or what everyone is questioning, a possible arrest, we'll have to wait and watch for that.
Is there a possible arrest? And in the meanwhile, there's enough speculation that Hemant Soren's wife, Kalpana Soren, might just be taking into his shoes, if at all the man is arrested. Shreya, any word on that, on the kind of political churn that we see in Jharkhand? Mahagathbandhan say they are strong, and that this is the BJP's ploy to shake the government, and they already have a plan B in place. Are you in the know of what their plan B is?
Well, Nabila, we cannot really shrug off that they do not have a plan B, because ever since the Enforcement Directorate has been swinging into action, we've been seeing that the MLAs are parked at the Circuit House. All the MLAs of Jharkhand, which is the ruling alliance, the Congress and the JMM, they are having back-to-back meetings. Even yesterday, they had 2 rounds of meeting, one at 2 p.m. where Hemant Soren came from nowhere after going missing for over 40 hours. Then a second round of meeting took place at the same residence from 7 p.m. onwards, and that lasted till 10. However, we've been asking and we've been speaking with the MLAs till now they are pretty much tight-lipped and they are suggesting that Kalpana Soren's name has not been suggested. The reason is that Hemant Soren will be continuing as the Chief Minister. So what they're trying to do is make a political imagery when the Enforcement Directorate comes at, listen, we are behind you with all our might and strength. So this is a show of strength rather that is being projected from the ruling alliance and the MLAs, because as the Enforcement Directorate team, Nabila, is yet to arrive at the CM residence. This is the compound, I'll just give you an understanding, which houses the CM office and the CM residence. We are also seeing that the leaders and the MLAs, they are also coming one by one at the same very compound. So while the ED will be grilling the Chief Minister at the same place, at the same residence, because there are two residences, we are being told. At the residence, the gate that I'm pointing right now, that is probably where the Enforcement Directorate team will be questioning Hemant Soren. But the other compound, which houses the another residence, there we are also seeing the MLAs and the leaders being present. So this is a show of strength that the ruling alliance is trying to pose when the Enforcement Directorate team comes. So probably whether we will see a shift of guard depends on what the Enforcement Directorate is also planning so far as Hemant Soren's political career is concerned.
All right. So on the screens here, we're showing you three different pictures. One, of course, right in front of Hemant Soren's residence. One at the ED office, where the ED officers have just left. These are visuals of the ED officers making their way into their vehicles and will be arriving at Hemant Soren's residence anytime now. Anupam Mishra is also joining us right at the residence of, there you have it. Left is the route all the way to the Chief Minister's residence, Hemant Soren's residence. You have full security deployment. And on the right, you have ED officers right from the ED office getting up and getting ready to leave towards his residence. Now, we have the SP of Ranchi who's spoken about security deployment. Let's listen in.
देखिए, हम लोगों ने सभी जो सुरक्षा की व्यवस्थाएं हैं, हम लोग ने पुख्ता इंतजाम किए हैं और हम लोग लगातार जो है वरीय पदाधिकारी और सभी मजिस्ट्रेट जो हैं उनका ब्रीफिंग भी कर रहे हैं। हम लोग सुरक्षा के जो भी बिंदु हैं उनको मैन्युअली ढंग से हम लोग इसको एसेस करके सभी जगह पे बल प्रदर्शित कर रहे हैं। 144 जो जहां लगाए गए हैं उसका अनुपालन दृढ़तापूर्वक कराया जा रहा है।
कौन-कौन से इलाके में?
अभी ये मुख्यमंत्री आवास, राजभवन और ईडी कार्यालय जो है, जो संवेदनशील क्षेत्र है, उन सभी क्षेत्रों पे जो है लगाए।
ऐसा इनपुट्स आप लोगों के पास की प्रोटेस्ट या फिर ऐसा कुछ?
यदि ऐसा कोई करते हैं तो 144 का कड़ाई से जो है वो पालन हम लोग कराएंगे।
नहीं, बैठक नहीं है, लेकिन चूंकि आज ईडी को टाइम दिया है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने, तो हम लोग यही पार्टी के पदाधिकारीगण, सांसद, विधायकगण सब लोग एक जगह बैठेंगे आपस में, ताकि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का मनोबल हमेशा ऊंचा ही रहे, हमेशा की तरह। जी
मैम, क्या गिरफ्तारी का डर सता रहा है? लगातार जिस तरह से अटकलें जताई जा रही हैं।
नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि जिस विषय पे उन्हें समन किया गया था उस पर उन्होंने तमाम बातें रख दी हैं। कानूनी रूप से सब कुछ सही है, लेकिन चूंकि पूरे देश में भाजपा जिस तरह से चुनी हुई सरकारों को अस्थिर कर रही है, कई सरकारों को गिराने की कोशिश की है और झारखंड में भी कई बार ऐसा प्रयास हो चुका है, इसलिए हर तरह की परिस्थिति से पार्टी तैयार है।
All right, let me cut across the big visuals there coming in of Hemant Soren's residence, where vehicles of the Enforcement Directorate have just begun to arrive. They're making their way towards the residence of Hemant Soren. This is a big, big day for the JMM, considering that by the end of the day, post Hemant Soren recording his statement, it's likely that he could be arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. The grilling that will begin any time now, Hemant Soren himself has agreed to be part of it. The irony here, he has skipped summons 9 times, just once has appeared before the Enforcement Directorate, was grilled 7 times, and the next time the ED made its way to his home, he decided to escape. I am using the word escape here, considering that he was incommunicado for nearly 40 hours without any of his bureaucrats, officials, his family members divulging details. None of them, in fact, saying that all of them saying they don't know where exactly Hemant Soren is. So clearly the ED had declared him missing. The man now resurfaces in Ranchi just last afternoon, and he's preparing himself to be grilled by the Enforcement Directorate. He himself asked for Jan 31st today to be appearing before the ED, and as per his wishes and his comfort, ED has chosen this day to reach his home and start questioning in a little while from now. So it appears that the ED has cooperated more with the Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren than Soren himself, with the central agency, where he has been accused of corruption in at least 3 scams. And it's interesting to know that Hemant Soren really hasn't given enough to the ED to suggest that he's not guilty. The ED says that they have enough evidence to suggest that he could be corrupt. To Anupam Mishra, where Anupam, please go on. We see already JMM leaders, many of the supporters there holding JMM flags, raising slogans. We know that they've been playing the victim card right from the start. Of course, there's nothing. At this point, the ED says that they have sufficient evidence to suggest that there are serious concerns over corruption against the Jharkhand Chief Minister. But JMM says he's innocent. This is vendetta politics. Slogans have already begun.
Exactly, Nabila, and that is why the extensive security arrangements have been made in front and around CM residence. And this is let me show you 2 gates. One gate is that side, this is beside 50 meters, and that gate is supposed to be for ED. ED is supposed to enter from that gate, and let me show you the second gate, which is from where the alliance partners, the JMM leaders and MLAs are entering. So these are the 2 gates which are in focus, and heavy security arrangements have been made out here, and Section 144 has also been imposed here for any untoward incident, and they are holding mics also so that they can make announcement, and they are making announcement in and around this area, especially near Raj Bhavan and CM residence. This is the high security zone at present, and we are witnessing that a lot of MLAs, a lot of leaders of alliance parties are entering from this gate, and this is a kind of show of strength, and this is a kind of a strategy that they have adopted to boost the morale of CM Hemant Soren when ED grilling will start. So they will be they had already reached there, and they are gathered here, and they will be boosting the morale of CM Hemant Soren. This is one part of this strategy, and the second part of this strategy, the plan B, which we were talking for the last few days, has also been discussed yesterday in an extensive meeting which lasted for about 2 hours, whether Kalpana Soren will be handed the baton or not. But officially they are not telling it, because this is a political reason. Opposition, especially BJP, will somehow take it otherwise and can do something. So that is why officially they are not telling it. But the first time we have seen Kalpana Soren being present in the meeting, which lasted for about 2 hours yesterday night. And yesterday they were maintaining that no discussions were made on Kalpana Soren. But today, when we asked about whether these discussions happened or not, Mahua Maji said that there is no harm discussing the alternate ways. So certainly they have discussed the plan B alternative, what will happen, because there are 2 vital questions at present. What will happen to Hemant Soren after the grilling, whether he will be arrested, or whether the baton will be given to Kalpana Soren or not. So it will be decided in few hours, I think, but we'll have to wait what happens till the grilling start.
You'll have to wait and see what happens, and that's what all of us are waiting for. A sitting chief minister who went missing for nearly 40 hours and then comes back to face the enforcement directorate. Just imagine the kind of optics and the credibility it comes down to, and what kind of image is the Mahagathbandhan there in Jharkhand really boasting of. Unfortunate state of affairs that we see in Jharkhand. If at all Hemant Soren was really not guilty and innocent, he should have attended the summons issued by the enforcement directorate. 9 times he missed it, and now the nth time, it almost appears the 11th time, the ED knocks on his doors, finally gets to grill him. And as per his wish, he wanted to be grilled today itself. That's the 31st of January at his residence, and that's exactly what's happening.